Honestly, the OnePlus 10T kinda misses the mark for me. Can you smell the mid-cycle refreshes lately? It seems like just days ago, I was talking about the Pixel 6. Actually, the Pixel 6a was just days ago. Yeah, it is mid-cycle refresh season, everybody. And it seems like we're just stuck in this little weird place of refreshes. I mean, it was only literally 4 months ago when the OnePlus 10 Pro was launched here in the US, and now we have the OnePlus 10T. So let's talk about this. There's a lot of good things about the OnePlus 10T, but also, like I said, kind of misses the mark in some ways. The design here is exactly the same. I mean, you're really not gonna notice much of a difference between this and the OnePlus 10 Pro that was recently released. So we don't have to talk much about the design here. Inside, it's all good as well. We have the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 256 gigabytes of storage, which, mind you, if you need it, the former can suspend up to 35 applications so you can quickly access things. Kind of a cool feature, but 16 gigabytes of RAM, that seems like a lot for a smartphone. Though I'm not knocking it, that's pretty good. That is the top tier level of the OnePlus 10T though. So there is 2 different tiers there, and this one that I have here has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. But there is one thing with this, well, there's a couple of things, but one big thing that seems kind of like a regression to me, and there is no wireless charging in this. Now, mind you, OnePlus said that that is not on every model going forward. That's just this model, so don't freak out. But this has no wireless charging, and they said that it's because they wanted to keep the device thin and they wanted to add all these other cool features, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But there's no wireless charging here in the OnePlus 10T, so just keep that in mind. Now, OnePlus has said they are billing this as kind of a gaming-centric smartphone, right? And one of the cool things here with the charging is that we have 125 watt supercharging here, which is great, and you can charge the device really freaking fast with this charging block that it comes with. But I mean, did we really need that? Is something that fast of charging something that we absolutely needed? Like, I'd rather personally have wireless charging over 125 watt charging. If I had to make the decision between just regular fast charging with wireless charging, I would take that option instead. But I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. The display around the front side is your typical, it's got 6.7 inches, it is full HD plus, has 10-bit color, and 120 hertz adaptive refresh rate. So it will change between 60, 90, and 120 hertz, just depending on the situation to save battery life. That's all cool, I'm fine with that, but let's talk about the camera system on the back, because that is another area where there was a small, well, big, but minor downgrade to the whole thing. So we have one 50 megapixel shooter on the back here, and that is for the main camera. But the wide angle camera, the ultra wide angle, has been downgraded from its original spec of 50 megapixels down to 8 megapixels. Now that's quite a big jump, but I don't know, maybe there's data that OnePlus has supporting the fact that nobody really cared about having more megapixels, because we all know, and I'm not even being sarcastic here, megapixels do not matter. But we do have the 150 megapixel shooter for the main camera on the back, which is great. There's a triple camera setup here. That's all fine. It takes great photos. I didn't expect any less, but it's really nothing that's like jumping out at you saying, hey, buy me right now because I have this feature for the camera setup. Another staple that is absolutely gone from this phone, but mind you, OnePlus said it's not gone forever, just from this model, is the alert slider. There's no alert slider here, which is just weird because that's just been like such a strong part of the OnePlus DNA for so long, and it seems really weird to omit that. Again, I don't know, maybe you've never used the alert slider, maybe you don't care about the alert slider, but it was just like such a defining aspect of these smartphones over the years that it just seems so weird to not have an alert slider on a OnePlus phone. I mean, really, like, everything is smooth here. There's nothing to complain about. The software is great. The camera system works awesome, as I said. Like, there's really nothing exciting or revolutionary about this phone, but there's really nothing bad either. I just think that in comparison to the last flagship or even the one before that, it's just kind of lackluster. Now, I'm sure a lot of OnePlus fans are gonna be really mad at me because I'm not impressed by the newest OnePlus smartphone, but let me just tell you here, there's nothing exciting happening here. And you know what? That's okay, because this is still a solid phone. Like, it is a really fast phone. It's great. It's got Oxygen OS on it. I mean, everything is super awesome. As far as the phone itself goes, its usability, the battery life is good. Like, there's nothing to really complain about, except that it just misses the mark, and that's okay. You know, sometimes you don't always catch a W. Sometimes you just miss the mark and it doesn't hit home with everybody, and that's totally okay. Sure, they may want to talk a lot about the 360-degree antenna design, which is cool. That's fine that you implemented that. We have a 3D cooling system, a dual cell battery. There's a lot of talk around the phone and its internals and how it was designed and things like that. But at the end of the day, I just see it as a subpar 10 Pro. Again, that's okay. The price kind of reflects that. So I believe this thing is starting at $649, and the 10 Pro is being reduced to $799. So it's cheaper than the 10 Pro, so it's kind of budget oriented when you compare it to the 10 Pro. That being said, like I was saying, this is still a good phone and there's still nothing wrong with it, and I definitely recommend checking out some of the specs for yourself and coming up with your own judgments or praises about this phone, because I mean, my word is not everything, but I think that it's just kind of a hard sell, especially given the US timeline. Like I said, it was just in March when we got the OnePlus 10 Pro here in the US, and here we are at the beginning of August, and we already have a mid-cycle refresh. This is like a 1/3 cycle refresh. It's not even mid yet. Like, we're not even mid enough for the mid-cycle refresh, OnePlus. Like, what are we doing here? And I know there was a bit of a gap between the international launch of the OnePlus 10 and the US launch of the 10 Pro, but it's just a weird spot to put these phones at. I can't keep saying it, and I feel like I've already said it enough to myself alone in this room while I'm recording videos, but I don't know. I think it's a great phone. I think there's a lot that it has to offer, but not a lot that is really impressive to myself. That being said, I'd love to know your thoughts about the OnePlus 10T down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos like this drop in the near future. I really do appreciate all the support, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, this has been Dom, and I will catch you in the next video.